Okay. I guess we are live. Um, so yesterday I was doing this painting and I got a little bit sidetracked and started trying to add knobs for RGB, HSV, and value to the little main bar. And so I can show you that now. Where are we? RGB knobs. So here we go. We got kind of stuck in a crash yesterday, so I'm gonna finish up this painting today. But yeah, it's kind of cool. You can see how changing RGB actually affects HSV, which are these top three sliders. So when we, you know, move them around, we're getting a lot of weird stuff happening, which is interesting. And this is one thing that I didn't realize before, but when you change hue, it's really just changing the three colors one by one. So I guess from red to green is just adding more green, and then at a certain point it's less red, and then it's more blue, then it's less green. Kind of cool how that works, and it's a little cycle like that. I probably will add in the HSV knobs later. We do have the saturation control here, which is more of a dragger, but I feel like this saturation control could be a little bit more descriptive in terms of visual feedback. Like I'm thinking maybe it could be similar to one of these knobs where it shows the saturation, but starting from 0 to 1, going as you're going around the circle, as opposed to just up and down how it is now. I'm not sure. I'll try that out and see how it works. But anyway, I've been having fun playing around with the circles, and then the other option with this setup is you can just completely get rid of the top part. So we can say here, we'll turn off main controls, which is this combined version, and then turn on main bar, which is the same thing but without the top. I do need to figure out a better way to do that. Like technically it's just hiding the top part, but the other difference though is that this menu can go vertical and go into a grid. It's like a grid setup, whereas the main controls, this is only horizontal. So it's not as dynamic as the main bar version. But anyway, another change recently is that before, when you made the menus too skinny into like vertical, these two top icons would overlap and block each other. So the options menu would block the dragger, so you wouldn't be able to move it anymore. But the solution to that is just to, when it reaches a certain width, it hides this dragger, and it also makes it so that you can drag the options button. So you can drag it to move it, and you can also click on it to get the options for that menu. So that's cool. I'm gonna bring this back out. And let me just make sure the stream is working. How do I get to the chat? But yeah, I'm excited about this stuff. I think it's gonna be pretty nice. Next version is gonna be good when this comes out. Let me turn down the volume here. All right. Okay, and I want to finish this painting. There's something about having the controls being really compact, which just feels nice. Um, like having this as a default could be cool. I mean, it might be a little bit intimidating for the beginner, but at least it's very small compared to the other one. Acentros getting a master's degree in UI design. I don't know. I've been watching some YouTube videos about it at least, trying to take things a little bit more seriously. But I've since the beginning of this project, I've always been scared of like learning proper UI design because I feel like if I learn proper UI design, then I'm probably going to make the program, or the program's probably going to end up looking just like every other program. So I want it to be sort of like going from the ground up, learning like a little baby alien landed on the planet and tried to make a painting program, you know? So I'm like, I'm trying to come into it without any um, too much influence from what's already out there. But yeah, I have been watching some more videos lately, like in the past few months, actually, for the first time, and I'm realizing, oh wow, you know, there's some really interesting ideas out there. Oh, this is another change um, for this upcoming version in the color jitter panel here. I've moved the texture color to this panel, so hopefully this makes more sense because this control just controls how much of the texture's color is shown. Otherwise, it's just the alpha channel of the texture. You know, like using the texture as a mask. But when you know, you can have full color from your texture as well. But I figured it makes more sense here with the color jitter controls. Otherwise, it might be confusing. Because you might drag this down all the way, and you still see that there's some color happening, right? Even though we drag this all the way down, and it's because there's this other texture color. Now, the other question is if this texture color should be coupled with all the other like noise point, because you know, and this global setting controls these four individual knobs. So that's how it was before, but people were getting confused because they would be trying to add the texture color, but it wouldn't work because they had the color jitter stuff turned off globally. So I think this is a good compromise where it stays independent. Like this is independent of this, but I you know, I should visually make it so that these controls are grouped together and this is separate, maybe. Because right now it seems like if I were to look at this, then it seems like the global should also multiply the texture color. So maybe, maybe this isn't the greatest right here. I might try putting another panel around these to group them visually. Not sure. But anyway, hopefully this one is will make sense. Well, the option for RGB sliders, yeah. So this is just you can go here up to the top and turn these off, and then go back and bring back your color selector. So you can have the color selector separate, or you can have it combined in main controls. So you can basically do this however you want. But I'm trying it. So I'll probably have another option here for RGB, like HSV knobs. But this is cool. This is kind of fun to paint with because you're dragging these around and I don't know. It's kind of a game. All right. Let me go back to here. Oh no. Did my internet die? Hey, Gaconia. Thank you. I had one. What was your feature request again? Was it the. I think I got your feature request in for this version. By then I just sat at the back, peeping you out, the way you act, every string attack. Getting out of line and I'm yanking you back in your place. All is well and all is cool. Stay in your place, don't be no fool, get along alright. You look like the type that would try to bite. There's all been a friend to me. You don't want to offend me. Better play it cool. And yeah, I was trying to paint with this setup this morning, and I'm finding the dragging the RGB is kind of cool because it's again it's relative color versus absolute, which is what we normally paint with sliders. So yeah, it's interesting because you get to adjust instead of like it's easier to adjust the colors, I think, like this. I mean, that sounds dumb. I don't mean it's easier to adjust the colors. I mean it's easier to make small adjustments versus large adjustments. Also thinking about maybe having a little pop-up when you drag these. So when you would drag this hue control, for example, it would pop up with a color, basically like a color map, like a color box that can show where your color position is as a little map. Because right now you're kind of blindly dragging around and you don't really know where you're going. So yeah, maybe a little color map would be nice. And then, if you weren't here yesterday, we've also got a new color swatches menu. Where the hell is it? Color swatches. So I'm not used to working with color swatches, but yeah, basically you can add in extra colors. Yeah, this is a new concept for me, so I'm not really used to it. I need some practice to figure out the workflow of color swatches. If any color swatch people are in here, let me know how you usually use them. Some things I thought could be cool are like an auto color swatch adder. So every time you pick a new color, it would add it to a color swatch. But that would have to be, toggleable, because you don't want to be adding every single color. Or do you? Like, those are the questions I have. I'm not sure how people would normally work with this stuff. It's also cool to look at how does saturation affect RGB, right? So let's say we have this color here, and as I drag saturation up or down, let's see what happens. So dragging saturation up, it makes the green and the blue go away, but it leaves the red. Interesting. And then as we drag down, the green and the blue kind of match where the red is. So that's saturation. What if we make the red super bright, then what happens? Yeah, still. Same behavior. Wait, what if we make the green super bright? Huh. Oh, but with this one, yeah. So I guess it's like whichever color is the most dominant gets left alone, and then the other two have to match it in terms of saturation. Interesting. Oh, but maybe it's not the most dominant one. It's because it takes the ratio, like, let's say this is 2/3, this is half, and this is 1/4. And if we go down, then they all match the blue, and if we go up, it's like by ratio. So it takes I think it takes the max, or like the biggest one, which is blue in this case, and it like divides the others by that or something. So when you divide the blue by itself, it's still 1, right? One, let's say the blue is 0.8, so it's 0.8 divided by 0.8, so it stays the same. But maybe this is 0.5 divided by 0.8, or something like that. It's interesting. Like I'm noticing these weird relationships between the colors and HSV that I never saw before because I never had them like right in front of my face like this. Recent colors version. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna add that in. Actually, we already have it in. It would be an option here, which just adds. So every time you, the way it works is it would be like every time you do a stroke, it adds it to the color swatches, right? Geckonia. So then my question is, if you have a color history like that, that's would you want it to be limited so that it only captures like the past 20 colors and then it starts recycling or something like that? Um, or should it just keep going infinitely or but that's totally I'm gonna add that back in because that was the original version of the color swatches where it would just auto add. So let me add that here. I'll do it right now before I forget. So color swatches. Okay, so right now we have this plus button which adds a color swatch, right? sm.add to color swatches color. So I'm going to grab this Right, let me just do this, but this will happen every time you finish a stroke. So I'm going to go look for finish stroke. And there is, I'm going to look for what, the function that happens whenever we finish a stroke, which is over here in the layer, the brains of the layer. So this is when we finish a stroke. And we're going to add to the color swatches. Let's see. So there we go. And you notice that it only adds it one time because it won't add it again because it's the same color. So anytime we change the color, it will add it. But then the question is, how many of these? Because I don't think we should have an infinite number of them, right? And then also this needs to be toggleable as an option, so we need to make a little option for it. And this option would be like UI data dot UI prefs dot auto add to color history, to color swatches. So we can say if we have this option, then do the thing, otherwise ignore it. So now I'm adding the option here, auto add to color swatches equals false. By default, I don't know, what do you guys think? Should that be turned on by default or turned off by default? The auto add. Let me know, because I don't know how color swatches work. And then we need to add a button to turn that on and off. So that's gonna be in the color swatch options. Let's see, options, color swatches, and then we're gonna put it here next to that other button. So So there's the clear color swatches button. This is going to be auto add color swatch. Auto add on stroke. Okay, and then this is I forgot how this is supposed to work. I'm gonna break it here for a second so I can come back to it easier. These are all the preferences. Oh, okay, type UI preference value. So I'm just gonna copy this and reuse it here. Oh shit. Oops. And copy it and use it here. It's a UI pref and the auto add color swatch. Right? Is that the right? No, it's not the right thing. What the hell did I just call it? Okay, I renamed it, so I have to rename it over in the layer. Auto add. Oh, it'd be two separate palettes, huh? Okay. Oh, it should be a checkbox, that's why. Checkbox, where do we do it? Options. There's a checkbox. I just need to add this to that. Let's see if that works. Yes. There we go. All right. Two different panels, huh? Okay. Well, maybe maybe I'll figure that out later then. That's a little more complicated, but totally doable. Would the color history panel, if there was a separate panel for color history, would it also have the remove and add buttons here? I mean, I guess it wouldn't have an add button because you're always adding, but would it have a remove? Like a delete button? Contain it to 16 colors. Actually, that should be pretty easy too. I can do that. Let's see. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, so add to color. Okay, so this one, before we add, or I guess as we're adding, we have to check how many there are. So we can do that by saying sm.color swatches.size. So in programming, we have this thing called prints, which is really handy. We can just tell it, you know, type out some information for us. So I can say color swatches size, and then get the color swatches size and print it out. So now, while we're in here, every time I do a stroke, it tells us the color swatch size, right? It's 25. There's 25 little swatches here. So does that include the plus and the minus? Let me get rid of these. No, it doesn't count the plus and the minus. Okay, good. Alright, so when we add a color swatch, we're going to check the size, and we're going to say if the size is bigger than 15. So basically, if the size is 16, then we want to get rid of the first color swatch, which should be the oldest. And the way we do that is pop front, I think. So that just deletes the first in the list of colors. So let's see if that works. I'm not sure if it will. And you know what? I'm gonna do this after the check. Let's see. You know, I'm gonna make the size a lot smaller just for testing, so I don't have to make 16 colors. Let's see. So now it should. We should do a print here, actually. So if the size is bigger, then we can say color swatches size is too big. Okay, here we go. It says color swatches size is too big. And we should be removing that color swatch, which is contained in this list here. But then, why isn't it getting rid of it? Oh, it is getting rid of it. I just can't count. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's getting rid of the first one. Cool. So now we just need to put this to, so you notice that it's actually giving us 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I wanted 16, for example, then I need to go one below. So it would be 15. All right. Double click to lock colors. What would you double click? I'm planning to add pencil hover and brush preview. Yeah, eventually, I think so. Oh, hey Adriano, thank you. My streaming schedule is sort of random, unfortunately, but next month is gonna be the Heavy Jan challenge. So I'm gonna probably be trying to paint every day for the whole of January, and I'll try to stream as much as I can. I'll probably be streaming a lot more than usual. So we'll see. Maybe I can make a schedule happen. Put this thing. Sorry. Okay. Ah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to do some more paintings next month. I haven't been painting enough. So hopefully it'll be great if you guys want to join. It's gonna be cool. Alright. I'm pretty happy with this right side of the painting. I like all the different color jitters stuff happening. So I'm slowly gonna move my way. Oh yeah, and then there's also some bits that are overlapping. Shadow. For the ground, I'm gonna add a bunch of noise texture because you know all the gravel down there looks kind of noisy to me. That should work okay. And then up here, it's kind of bluish. Less noisy. These trees here are kind of yellowy, but also way more muted than that, huh? So I'm bringing the colors closer together to make them less saturated. I guess it's something like that, maybe darker. They're closer in value in the photo, right? Like this foreground tree and the background tree, kind of much closer. I think the background trees are much lighter in general, so I screwed that up a little bit. Is it too late to go back and redo all these? Probably not. I'm being pretty scribbly in general, so not like I'm spending too much time on these. Anything. All right, a little bit brighter. And then these are a little bit darker, I guess. I like all these little yellow bits popping out. That's pretty sweet. And also this red glint that's coming off of that shiny bit. That's really cool. So I'm gonna try to get that red. Definitely get the red. It's actually it's way darker than I thought. Yeah. That red, even darker. Double click on the color swatch to lock it. Then you mean, so does that mean that if you lock a color, then it won't get deleted automatically? It just stays in the queue? That could work. You know what? I feel like this color picker or this color circle always gets lost in the gray here. Like it would be better if there was a background to it or something to make it more visible. Like if there was a black background to it, because I can never tell what color that is. Let me try with black UI for a minute. Does this even work? Whoa. Oh, it looks weird. Oh god. This is confusing. Doo-doo. Oh, there's definitely some nice orange stuff I'm missing up here. anytime you see this sort of like silhouette with the orange, you gotta go for it. This is like the whole reason you do the painting, to get these little lines. Right. I think the drawing part of painting is my most favorite. I don't like painting. I'd rather draw. And then all these little lines and stuff are just purely orange, right? If I tried to paint them in as black lines, they wouldn't make any sense. So I'm gonna just paint them as like really bright orange. Even that feels too dark. Yeah. Really light. Do I have another coding project? No, I do want to do the whole like realistic version of Wipeout. I don't know if you guys have ever played Wipeout on PlayStation or whatever, but like it's a hover racing kind of game, but the physics are kind of arcadey, and I want to try to do like the you know, simulation, super realistic physics version of that. I feel like that would be fun. But also probably a horrible idea, because it would be so difficult because they just float around. They don't even... It's basically like you're drifting the whole time because there's no traction at all. Yeah, I love his work. He's a genius, I think, like, or, yeah, that kind of work ethic is ridiculous. I don't know how he does all of that. It's so much work. So it seems like the orange is mainly happening on the right side of everything, and then the left side is just more chill, so I'm just trying to do that. Like the left side here probably shouldn't be so on. Maybe just a tiny bit. And yeah, little details like that matter. Or lighting. You gotta like pay attention to what's happening. Yeah, so this painting is slowly turning into a drawing. I feel like I'm just covering every inch with tiny little sketches, which is kind of fun. I like painting this way lately. You get to take your time and feels more comfortable for me because I like drawing. Alright, maybe more noise over here. So it really looks like pebbles. Alright, I want to spend a little bit of time making sure this curve is right because it's pretty key in setting up the perspective. So I don't mind doing it over a few times if I don't like it the first time. It's one of those things that's kind of like big bang for your buck, I think. These little perspective rail lines. Yeah. They're tricky. They're tricky. Normally I'm pretty afraid of zooming in this closely because I know I'm going to be like losing the big picture, but I'm getting a little too excited by these little noisy strokes, so I think it's for a good cause. We're zooming in for a good cause here. Get the pencil action. But I'm just gonna get in and get out, you know? I don't want to spend too much time in here. I'm not sure if this that's going on here, this light is coming from the lens or from the actual scenery. I have a feeling this whole area on the right is full of lens artifacts because my camera probably wasn't clean. Background for Great Pretender. No, I haven't seen that yet. I will check that out. For the stream, I'm gonna write it down. Pen. Oh. Of course I don't have my pen on me. Right, actually I'm gonna take a quick little break and be right back. Hey, Shinyu. Sean Tan. I don't know Sean Tan. I have to look him up. Ooh. That is awesome. Oh, wait, he's not the guy who does the, like, super dot texture everywhere. No. Okay, I'm thinking of somebody else. Yeah, these are sweet. He likes his small brush. Yeah, and he likes drawing too. His paintings look like drawings. Alright guys, I think I'm done for now. Gonna work on this a little bit more later probably, but thank you for joining in, and we'll try to have this update out as soon as possible as well. I'll see you guys next time.